Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, where I present to you the leftist worst nightmare. Let's think about leftist public enemy number 1 and 2. Number 1 is obviously Donald Trump. Number 2, I'd argue, or I guess it could be argued, is probably Tucker Carlson. They've been trying to cancel this guy for how long? Well, I guess it's kind of the Streisand effect in a way. The more they try to suppress him, the more they try to cancel him, the more they try to destroy him, the more they try to unperson him, well, the more of them they're likely to get. And that's exactly what's happening here, as it seems Tucker Carlson is currently trying out for a position not at any Fox News competitors. No, not at all. Tucker Carlson might be Donald Trump's running mate, at least that's the speculation, based on a couple little viral events. First, Donald Trump praising Tucker Carlson as a possible VP pick, and now this, they walk out together with Kid Rock, Dana White, and Donald Trump Jr. at the most recent UFC event. The crowd went wild as expected. The hype is real, speculation is flying. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so just yesterday I played you guys this clip.
Would you consider Tucker Carlson on your VP list? I want to give you a hypothetical here. Consider Tucker, though, that based on those
I
numbers?
like Tucker a lot. I guess I would. I think I'd say I would.
It seems like Trump is possibly considering it. Then this happens.
Strong that team is, making his way into the building. One of the bigger mixed martial arts fans I know, President Donald Trump, taking his octagon side seat for UFC 295. We got 2 title fights coming up at UFC 295 here in a matter of moments, live from Madison Square Garden. And President Trump will be here to witness all of it. 4 of the very best fighters in the world set to take their cracks at light heavyweight and interim heavyweight gold, respectively. We move over to pay-per-view shortly. Thank you all for being here for the prelim coverage. But as you know, best is yet to come. Main card for UFC 295, live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view from Madison Square Garden. Starts right now.
You know, I don't think it's just a little coincidence. I think Donald Trump is trying out Tucker Carlson for the position. I don't know exactly how this thing came to be. To be honest, it seems as though it might have been a little bit spontaneous. Tucker Carlson looking a little bit out of place there, wearing his typical khaki pants and a unbuttoned shirt under his blazer, looking more like he's headed to the country club than a massive UFC fight. Maybe it was kind of like a last-minute thing. Tucker, get on the plane. We're headed, but whatever it is. You know, the suit, the dress-up, that's something you can work on. That's something you can change. But aside from that, I have no criticisms. I think this is freaking badass. You know, if you ask me what kind of entourage I'd like to be around, well, the answer right there is in visual form for you. I think the leftoids are seething here. Here's another moment caught on tape of Joe Rogan embracing Tucker Carlson. It's just everything visual to trigger a leftist. You know, imagine a thing to induce this kind of reaction. Well, that thing is this. It's Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump walking out at UFC night with the crowd going absolutely wild. These two are breaking the internet, and frankly, they could make history. You know, like I keep saying, if it's not Tucker Carlson, I hope something like this happens. Something along these lines. Just please, anybody outside of the political establishment. But you know, I don't want to repeat and rehash all the points that we made in the previous video. We already pretty much talked about Tucker Carlson as a possibility of Trump's running mate. What I do want to talk about, however, is the sheer star power. You know, that little clip of Donald Trump walking? I don't care what anyone says, I don't care if it's superficial or what it is. That's Donald Trump's greatest strength. I mean, that's why Trump is who he is. Just the charisma, the way he holds himself. He's good in front of the camera, he's good in front of a crowd. It's just honestly hard to compete with the guy. Donald Trump's a superstar. He's got star power anywhere he goes. Anywhere he goes, he's got the biggest spotlight in the room. And now we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we could speculate, we could analyze, we could predict, even though obviously to a certain extent it's a dangerous thing, especially in the age of the internet where everything lives forever. But whether we're right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. Speculation is fun. You know, I really see this Trump resurgence in some of the most important groups, you know, where it really matters. I think this is pretty much the exact scenario needed to really win over the non-political, you know, people who aren't really paying attention, people who are more focused on cultural issues or more involved in culture than they are politics. Like Andrew Breitbart famously said, politics is downstream from culture. Well, this is how you win. You don't win with your typical awkward politician who looks like a fish out of water. You win with personality and charisma. If you've taken political classes in college, you've definitely learned about the concept of a charismatic leader. Well, Trump is that and some. And this is what we need to win the culture. I mean, essentially, every UFC night has become a Trump rally. It's become a place where Trump could get his moment in the spotlight in front of millions upon millions of viewers, normalizing his presence. The mainstream media tells you, oh, he's the worst thing ever, literally the worst thing ever. And then you see him out and about, getting a massive standing ovation, the crowd going wild. And it's just kind of like this desensitization factor where everything leftist mainstream propaganda media built up kind of just fizzles, you know, dissolves, falls apart. And most importantly, you know, I mentioned culture earlier, it's a step to winning the cultural battle, and not necessarily culture wars, but just cultural political presence, something the left has dominated for decades. I'd argue since basically the Bill Clinton days, where culture and politics I think was relatively right-wing under Ronald Reagan, and it slowly started to shift from Bill Clinton all the way to Barack Obama. We've gone through the leftist Hollywood age. Well, it's moments like these that tell me that possibly we're seeing a shift here. Whether it's rappers or other artists endorsing Donald Trump or these UFC events, it's simply frickin' badass. I'm here for it. I love it. I just want to see Tucker Carlson next time wear a little bit of a slicker getup, you know, a little bit of a slicker suit, and maybe keep a little bit more of a stoic presence instead of looking like a kid in the candy shop. But honestly, I don't blame him. I think this came out of nowhere, and I think Tucker was just flabbergasted by the environment he was thrusted in. You can't blame him. If I was in the same position, I'd probably be looking around with my jaw open, shock and awe just how amazing and incredible the experience was. But either way, that aside, conclusion in the end here, just pretty badass, pretty cool. And of course, I figured you guys would enjoy this UFC moment that broke the internet. Of course, that's what I got for you guys on this one. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.